Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Friday, April 29th, 2022. This is Live Talk. I'm Kips Dube.
And I'm Marvelous Nhlanhla Moses.
Tonight we are talking about the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair and issues faced by Zimbabweans living in South Africa.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa officially opened the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair in Bulawayo today amid economic stagnation due to the devaluation of the local currency and other issues. At least 400 local and international exhibitors are participating at this year's event.
In South Africa, hundreds of Zimbabweans have abandoned vending stalls in Johannesburg as Operation Dudula intensifies its efforts to force illegal immigrants to return to their countries.
The wife of the late Elvis Nyati, who was burnt to death in South Africa Diepsloot Township recently by a vigilante group, says police wanted to identify some suspects at a police station in that country. Nomusa Chuma, who is currently in Zimbabwe, says she won't go back to South Africa.
And opposition economic freedom fighters leader Julius Malema says Zimbabweans should go back home in large numbers next year to vote out President Emmerson Mnangagwa's government. But ZANU PF says Malema should shut up. Linjani lapha khona maZimbabwe mahle. Namhlanje ke uhlelo lwe-live talk sikhangela okutshiyeneyo. Okokuqala sikukhangelayo lapha ke iZimbabwe International Trade Fair. Siyakwazi ukuthi ke lo ngumbukiso omkhulu kakhulu kwele Zimbabwe. uZulu uyawuthakazelela kakhulu umbukiso lo, kodwa ke kukhanya ngazani ke lonyaka loba ke kunjalo abanye abantu abasoze behambe ku-trade fair ngoba kukhanya ngani abala mali, so abantu bayakhala sibili ngemali njalo laba ba-exhibita khona ngale bafika 400 ama-companies avela kwele Zimbabwe lamanye akwamanye amazwe. So ke bathi ke okuhluphayo ukuthi ke idola leZimbabwe seligugudeke okunye okumangalisayo. So ke bayakhala khonapho abantu mavela sithi idola lingavele ligugudeke leZimbabwe umnotho lawo uyabhidlika. Yes, singene okunye njalo sibonile khona ngale i-Operation Dudula isiqalile khonokho efuna ukukwenza ukuthi abantu bokuza basuke kwele South Africa babuyele emazweni abo. EJohannesburg endaweni yeSoweto kukhanya sibili kade abantu besuswa endaweni lapho abathengisela khona. I-Operation Dudula isithi akumelanga bethengise impahla etshiyeneyo ngoba lokho kumele kwenziwe ngabantu abadabuka kwele South Africa. Uzobuya ke umnumzana Julius Malema ukuthi abantu bakwele Zimbabwe kumele bahambe ngobuningi babo besiye eZimbabwe ngesikhathi sokuvota ukuze ukuthi kususwe ke uhulumende kamongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa. So sabe sixoxa ngalokhu lokunye okutshiyeneyo khonapha ke kuhlelo lwethu lwamhlanje. So liyenelisa ukuthi lingene khona manje siyafaka ilink yena leyi lingene livule khonokho libe sesixoxa lathi kunjalo ke mavela okwalamhlanje.
Aiwa tinokuchingamidza ine mufaro pano pachirongwa chedu nemusi wechishanu kudai pano paLive Talk. Nhasi tinenge tiri kutarisa isu zviri kubuda kumusangano mukuru gungano guru reZimbabwe International Trade Fair iro ravhurwa zviri pamutemo nemutungamiri wenyika vaEmmerson Mnangagwa. Tinotarisa kuti kuZimbabwe International Trade Fair gore rino kwakakwanisa kuenda makambani anosvika iwo 400 kubva munyika nekunze. Uyezve tichiona zvakare tichange tiri kutarisa pamusoro zviri kubuda kubva kuSouth Africa uko takaona vhiki rino mutungamiri webato reEFF vaJulius Malema vachiwanikwa ivo vachikurudzira zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe kuti zvidzokere kumusha kunovhota. Tikaona vachitaurira zvakare veruzhinji kuti vavhotere vachibvisa vaMnangagwa pachigaro, asi takazoona vamugwadi veZANU PF vachiuyawo vachitaura neStudio 7 vachitaura kuti zvanga zviri kutaurwa navaMalema izvi ndezvekugotsi kwatsuro, vachiti vaMnangagwa varipo uyezve vacharamba vari pachigaro. Tichange tiri kutarisa zvakare zviri kuitika ikoko kuSouth Africa zvakare apo mudzimai wava Elvis Nyati avo vakawanikwa vachipiswa vakashaya vakazowanikwa vachivigwa kuBulawayo ari kunzi iye adzoke kuSouth Africa kuti aende kunowanikwa achiona kuti vanhu vakabatwa seivo vakaponda vaNyati ndivo here, asi ivo mudzimai wavaNyati vari kuti kwete havasi kudzokera kuSouth Africa sezvo vari kutyira upenyu hwavo. Tichitarisa zvakare zviri kuitika pachikwata chiye cheDudula icho chiri kunzi chiri kuramba chichiita mhirizhonga uyezve chichizira nyanya zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zvinotengesa mumugwagwa muJohannesburg. Saka tichange tiri kutaura nevamwewo vanogara imomo muSouth Africa nevamwe vari kuZimbabwe International Trade Fair tichinzwa kuti zvii zviri kuitika pamusoro penyaya mbiri idzodzi.
Yes, let's start with a video of Miss Nomsa Chuma, that's the wife of the late Elvis Nyati. She had a conversation with Ezra Sibanda in Blawa. Let's listen to this interview in which she's talking about being asked by the South African authorities to return to that country in order to identify some suspects that have been actually rounded up by the police. So they are at a police station and she's supposed to go around a certain parade in which we identify those people. But she says, Marvelous, the problem that she has is she can't identify all of those people because she was beaten up and she's scared of her life. So let's listen to this interview.
Simtholile ke unkosikazi kaMufi uMachuma Mrs Elvis Nyati lo mama omncane kaMuyi Mrs Nyati njani?
Hayi ngiyaphila.
Siyaphila. Ambe siyawazi lokho kwenzekala kunjani ngathi sokuhamba njani nathi?
Hayi. Ngeke ngisho ukuthi uhamba kahle ngoba lami nje ngisadinga ukuthi ngisizwe. Izinto azikahlangani kahle nestand but sifuna ukuyakhiwa akuhlangani lutho. So bengicela lami ukuthi abantu bengincedise kuyakhiwe. Ngibonga labo bonke abancedisileyo, ngibonga konke le family yakonyathi, labomalume abancedisileyo. Ngiyacela ukuthi labantwana la kumele besikolweni bedingele izindawo bebhadalelwe isikolo, abana ama uniform abalani, lokuthi bayakhela indawo yokuhlala.
Kodwa unemzimbeni unjani?
Ngathi into yakhona ngathi hayi angikabi right kahle vele ngakucabanga lokho kwenzakalayo.
So lapho kuyafuna ukuthi uye ku counseling.
Ya ngezi izindlela
Singathola ukutholela i-counseling ngoba ngcono. Lokho kwasukela lapha nasuke wezwa kusuke emapholiseni akhona ngale eSouth Africa bakudinga.
Ya ngathi kwamanje athi ukwamfonela lo Martin Muro wakhona.
Impolisi. Uthini?
Uthi kumele ngize le eGoli ngizokhuluma la mkhona le.
Uthi kumele uze eGoli uzokhuluma.
Sami ngale khona ngale la ngiyafuneka.
Uzwa njani nxa bekubiza kanje bathini bathi bafuna ukuthi uzokuthini?
Kuthiwa ngizokuqamba lami ingxenye ngingaba bazi laba bantu kuphakathi kwalabo abakhona. So mina ngendlela yokuthi vele laba abantu azange ngibabone. Ngapho ngubabona nje ukuthi umuntu omfishani nje omnyama ongenantshebe kuphela ukuthi ngathi ngubani vela ngikazi ngoba abantu bangikhona mina vela mangibazi. Kungaba nzima ukuthi vele ngibaqambe lami ngoba kangibazi labo bantu. Ngoba lami babenthusa ngangeke ngibabheke nasefesini.
Ngosokusebusuku.
Ngosokusebusuku futhi.
Lapha bakuchaya khona kodwa unjani waphola?
Pholile nje ukuthi umuntu maye kushaya into iyaphola kodwa kubuhlungu vele. Ngoba ngazi ukuthi siya phambili ngizobe nginjani kumbe zolala phansi ngigula ngazi.
So lamapholisa manje bathi ungekela ukubuya bazathini?
Ubethe uzokufona akhulume lami futhi ngoba mina bengithetha ngeke ngikhone lokho. Ngoba le statement engasikhupha labantu bangikhona vele kangibazi. Ngabatshela ngikhuluma istatement epolice ukuthi hayi mina vele labo bantu kangibazi kodwa ngicabanga ukuthi umuntu wakhona wemfishane nje emnyama engenantshebe kuphela into engiyikhumbulayo nje kodwa ukuthi ngathi ngubani naye baqanda ngibazi.
Imali ezavela kuhulumende swasithola.
Ya imali yavela kuhulumende ngayithola. Ngitholile. Siyabonga uHulumende lathi kusiphathisa.
Onye ujabulisa ukuthi abantwana ama birth certificate.
Ama birth certificate siwatholile. Ngisele lo bhuti Ezra wasincedisa. Sathola ama birth. Siyambonga la ubaba uSibanda.
Into esithabisa ukuthi usule account number susuvulile lapha i-account le bank. Abantu labana befuna udonate zabanika account yakho angithi. Labana befuna udonate zabanika account yakho angithi.
Yeah, that is marvelous. That is Nomsa Chuma. She says she's still appealing for assistance from members of the public because she's struggling really to be what she used to be. So she says at least she has got some birth certificates for her kids, and thanks to Ezra Sibanda, and she has opened a bank account so that anyone who wants to help her can deposit money in that account so that she can keep her kids and then embark on some projects. You know, one of the projects is to build a home, a house for herself and the kids in Tamazinduna. And she says, you know, the policeman that she has been talking to wants her to go to Johannesburg to actually identify the suspects that the police have right now. But she's scared. She says she can't go there because she only remembers that the guy who was beating her up was short, he was dark, he didn't have beard, but he can't even identify him today. So she says it will be difficult for her to go to South Africa and testify.
I heard Ezra asking her about the assistance she got from government. What did she say?
Yes, so she says she has got the money from the government now, and she's thanking the government for that. So she's got the money locked in, and I think she says it went a long way in trying to alleviate the problems, but it's not much, of course, according to the money that was released. So she's very thankful about that.
Aiwapo tanga tiri kunzwa mudzimai wava Elvis Nyati vachitaura ivo pamusoro pezvavari kuti vari kusangana nazvo pari zvino. Vari kutaura ivo kuti mapurisa eSouth Africa akawanikwa achivafonera kuti vaende kunoidentifya vanhu vavakasunga, asi vari kuti ivo hapana chavanonyatsoziva because wanga uri usiku, uyezve vari kungoziva kuti pane vanhu vakavarova, mumwe wacho anga ari mutema mupfupi, asi kuti vangaende vachinoidentifya vari kuti vafunge kudaro. Vari kutaura zvakare kuti mari yavakange vakavimbiswa nehurumende yakauya, uyezve vakakwanisa kutora mabhethi evana vavo vakavavhurira maaccounts, asi vachiri kutsvaga rutsigiro rwekuti vakwanise kuvakaimba nekuendesa vana kuchikoro.
Kunjalo-ke Marvelous, kunengi kakhulu okwenzakalayo ngesikhathi khona manje unkosikazi Nyati kumbe ngithi umfelokazi ezama ukuthi agxile impande lapha lalapha. Si-expect ukuthi kulabantu abazabuya lapha-ke sixoxe labo. So silethemba lokuthi bazabuya sixoxe, sikhulumeni, sibone lapha esiyakhona ngoba kunengi kakhulu kumele sikukhulume namhlanje. So siyabona njalo ukuthi kulo mkhankaso eminingi kakhulu, ikakhulu Operation Dudula kule South Africa. Kulabantu-ke nasebedudula okunye okumangalisayo, sebesuswa endaweni eziningi khona ngale-ke kule South Africa. Sibone eJohannesburg abantu besuswa emkambo. So singazi ukuthi Marvelous lo muntu yini, kumbe ungafonela umuntu wakho lo ekade kumele tangene. Sixoxe laye sizwe ukuthi uthini ngakhona-ke ukuthi bona badudulwa kanganani. Sizame-ke ukuthi sikhulumisane labo abantu sizwe ukuthi kuthiwani. Sikhuluma nje khona manje unkosikazi ka-Elvis Nyati uthi kuyahlupha kakhulu ababhekane lakho. At the same time nje nxa sikhuluma khona manje Marvelous, le ndlala la ibhokile khona ngale endaweni zaboMangwe, abantu bayalamba lezinto ezinjalo. So-ke singazi ukuthi abanye abantu kwele Zimbabwe bami njani nxa sikhangela khonokho okwendlala lokunye. Kodwa-ke kunjalo ukuba lamanye ama-projects ayenziwa ngabantu lapha lalapha, singazi ukuthi khona kuyalunga njani. Sikhumbule njalo ukuthi uJulius Malema utheni. UMalema uthe-ke kumele ukuthi abantu babuyele ekhaya belungiswa abakulungisayo ukwenzela ukuthi-ke nxa sokulesikhathi sokhetho kuhle kube yidibadiba, kuhle nje kufiwa kawani. Sulo muntu yini Marvelous?
Hallo Mkhoma Makadi.
Makadiyo.
Tiripo mukatitsanangurirei zita renyu ndiani uyezve muri kupi?
Okay, ndinonzi Tinashe Nyabeza.
Muri kupi?
KuZimbabwe kwaRarare.
Alright, muri kuti muda kutaura pamusoro penyaya zviri kuitika kuSouth Africa, taurai tinzwe.
Okay, ndanga ndichingoti mararamiro atiri kuita isusu semaZimbabweans anorwadza, tichikonzerwa kuti nyika yedu inyika ine upfumi, inyika ine maresources. Mukatarisa maZimbabweans mazhinji ari kuSouth Africa ari kunhonga soso nemaroko. Tikatarisa isusu tinoona kuti vazhinji dzimba dzatinogara, vamwe vanogara mumikuku, dzimba dzekuti haisi imba inofanira kunge ichigara nemunhu. Tichitaura kuti nyika yedu isusu inyika ine maresources, handiti? Saka kurudziro ndinoda kupa kuvanhu inini ndeyekuti vanhu dai vakwanisa kuisa musoro pamwe chete, vakwanisa kuona kuti ndiani mutungamiri angakwanisa kuvatungamirira so that upenyu hwavo hunoreruka. Ndinogona nekuti tikatarisa isusu utungamiri huripo so far zvinoona sekunga utungamiri husina direction, hauzivi zvauri kuda. Nekuti tikatarisa kubva 2018 up to now vanhu vari kutambudzika, hakuna transport, zvinhu zviringokwira mumashops, mari iringodonha value. Saka tikuona kuti vanhu vari kuratidza kuti havana clue nezvavarikuda kuitira nyika. Handimuri kuona.
Saka muri ipapo mukoma Tinashe mataura imi kuti muri kuZimbabwe. Ikoko zviri kuendeka here, zvakamira sei?
Zvinhu hazvisi kuendeka nekuda kwekuti mari dzatinotambira chinhu chekutanga $1,000 kuti titenge isusu mushop kana kuti whatever we want to do. Tikuona kuti isusu kunodiwa $US of which mari yacho inorohwa nemarate. 2, transport iri kunetsa. We are only using Zupco. Ndoirega inenge iripo. Handimukona. Of which Zupco haisi kukwanisa kuaccommodate munhu wese nekuda kwekuti vanhu vanenge vari almost 1,000 paqueue vachimirira vanhu mabhazi 2. Hazvisi kubatsira. Saka zvinhu zvakatoisomera kuZimbabwe.
Saka imi makanyoresa kuvhota here uyezve zviri nyore here kuenda kunoona kuti zita rako riripo here nezvimwe zvakadaro?
Yes, inini kuvhota ndakanyoresa. Asi chinhu vane chiri kundirwadza vazhinji vezera rangu especially mayouth vari kutaura kuti kuvhota hakuna basa. Saka ndoona sekunge pane basa hombe especially for the opposition parties kuti vatokurudzire vanhu kuti vanyorese kuvhota. Nokuti ndo yega solution iri available kuti vanhu vakwanise kusununguka.
Imi semukomana wechidiki zvii zvamunofunga kuti zvinogona kuita kuti zvibatsire vechidiki vamuri kutaura ava kuti vadewo kuenda kunonyoresa kuvhota?
We seem to be having a problem.
No, I
somehow.
think his network is, but he's just saying there that he's actually in Harare, and he's very upset because he says he has noticed that although he has registered to vote, most of the youth that he knows don't want to register to vote because they say that elections don't yield any good results for the country. So there's a lot of voter registration apathy. That's what he's saying. And then he's saying, even as a young man himself right now, he's working, but he says the amount of money that he gets monthly, his salary is not enough to look after himself or his family as the prices continue to soar in the country. But he also weighed in on the situation in South Africa because he called with a South African number. I just meant to ask him that did he work in South Africa before and then went back to Zimbabwe, but we'll see as we go along if he calls back.
So he says, what's the solution to this since they don't want to vote?
That's the question that I asked him, that, okay, you have noticed that there is, apathy of the youth for them to register to vote. What do you think as the youth? So we'll hear from him as we go along, because unfortunately that's when his network dropped. But would like to hear even from those that are following that what do they think is the solution to attract the youth to register to vote. It doesn't matter for which party, but just to at least get them to register to vote for whatever party they want.
Yes, for those that wish to join the show right now, check the link that we've posted in this live stream. Just open that link using Google Chrome if you've got an Android or you're using a laptop. And then you can use Safari if you've got an iPhone. So open the link and then we talk about what is the solution to all these kind of problems that are facing Zimbabwe. Why are youths not interested in voting? So wish to hear from you. And then the Operation Dudula, what do you think is the solution to that kind of a problem too in South Africa? Or Mr. Malema's suggestions that you should go back home and vote out the current government, is it a good one or is it a bad one? Are you voting or you'll never vote in Zimbabwe? So let's talk about some of these issues so that we know exactly where Zimbabwe is going. Yeah, kuhlelo lolu siyafisa ukuthi lingene lisixhume khonapha sixoxeni ngokuvota. Lingakhohlelwa ukubhalisela ukuvota kuqakathekile kakhulu. So ke mabela sinxa abantu ngabatshela ngokuqakatheka kokuvota lokuthi kumele bebhalisele ukuvota kwenze ukuthi kube lenguquko eZimbabwe xa beyifuna kunjalo. Yeah, mabela.
aiwa sekutaura kuita Gibbs ndiri kuona pane vamwe vari kuona nesu Tobias Marova ari kuti South Africa haigarwe uyai kumusha hama dzedu ndokutaura kuri kuitawo vamwe makolas ari panapa pana ari kuti Tobias Marova ari kuti endai hanzi munounganidza vese vari kuSouth Africa nekuti zviri kunetsa ndezvekuti semaonero ake vanhu vari kuSouth Africa pari zvino vari kuita zvakadai savana Dudula pari zvino havasi kutarisa kuti uri kubva muvamani asi se ndambotaura nevamwe zvakare vanga vari paLivetalk ngatikurukurei vanga vari kutaura ivo kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka kupolokwani pane murume afona anga ari kutaura kuti kupolokwani pari zvino kwanga kuine zvimwe zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zvakawanikwa zvichibatana nevanhu vemimomo muSouth Africa uyezve chimwe chizvarwa chekuMalawi vakawanikwa vachirova varungu vemunzvimbo iyoyi pamastrike anga ari kuitika ikoko akati iye saka ari kukurudzira kuti zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe kana maona zvizvarwa zveSouth Africa zviri kunetsana nemaSouth Africans siyanai nazvo nekuti zvinozoitika ndezvekuti vanhu vanokwanisa kunge vakuzosungwa vachiendeswa kumajeri chizvarwa chekuMalawi chakatowanikwa chichitopfurwa saka vakutoita mudeme wekuti vawanikwe vachiendesa mutumbi wemuMalawian uyu kumusha kwake kuti anovigwa saka ndo zvimwe zvanga zviri kutaurwa kuti zviri kuitika kupolokwane uko kwanga kuine mhirizhonga asi afona uyu anga ari kutaura kuti chiri kumushamisa ndechekuti maZimbabweans anga achibatana nemaSouth Africans kurova mabhosi echiSouth African asi vamwe vavo vatosungwa pari zvino saka
siyabonga lapho ukuthi bakhona abanye sebebotshiwe khona ngale kule South Africa abancedisa ukuthi uchaywe omunye umuntu onguye phela umaqhuzu emsebenzini so khanya ngazani bekubanjisweni phakathi badabuka kwele Zimbabwe labadabuka kule South Africa so ke kwisimanga ukuthi uzokuthiwa babambisene benza khonokho kodwa ke okusobala ukuthi ke abantu bayatshiselwa abantu bafisa ukuthi kwalungiswa okuningi so we are expecting Regis Charumbira then Nhlanhla Moses Ncube and Nhlanganiso Mahlangu to join us shortly in this discussion in which we are looking at various things. And most of the important things are in South Africa, where we know that Zimbabweans are having a terrible time. You know, South Africans are saying it's time for them to go back home and make sure that they vote out the current government. So we've got Regis right now. Regis, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very fine. Thank you.
Yes, so tell us a bit about, what you know about the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair for some seconds, maybe 1 minute, then we go into Operation Dudula and Julius Malema's remarks that ZANU PF is supposed to be removed from power through the ballot box. So let's start with the ZITF, your take on it briefly.
Thank you, Koma Gibbs. I think, as we know, that officiation will be done by Comrade President Uhuru of Kenya. And, everything is set. People are excited. The
but
government...
apparently Uhuru is no longer coming because of the death of the former president, Mwai Kibaki. So there's a funeral procession in Kenya.
Yes.
So the trade fair
Yes.
has been officially opened by President Emmerson Mnangagwa instead of Kibaki.
Yes.
So what's your take really about, ZITF generally?
Right, exactly. I think, as we know, that what I wanted to say is that Kenya sent their condolences, and their representatives are actually there as well. So basically, as we know, that the Zimbabwe Trade Fair is an opportunity for all businesses to showcase themselves in Zimbabwe and also in SADC and even in the international community as well. So it's been our tradition, I think, since way back that in each and every April, the trade fair will be there, and businesses go there, and also the community in Bulawayo. People come from almost everywhere going to this trade fair, and because of the COVID-19, there's been a setback on that, and this is the first time they've opened after almost about 3 years. And so, there's so much excitement. The government is excited. The citizens are also excited. We have seen people coming from almost everywhere in Zimbabwe going to the trade fair, and also from the international community. People came from SADC and from other places to the trade fair. I hope this is going to to open new avenues. As we know that the mantra for the president of Zimbabwe, Comrade Mnangagwa, is that Zimbabwe is open for business. This is part of going to be of engagement, and also for the Vision 2030, that Zimbabwe is going to be a self-sustained economy by Vision 2030. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can put that in Shona as well. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Tinotisu tanzwa for sure kuti va Uhuru Kenyatta ndo vaifana kunge vachiuya kuchizo officiate trade fair yedu ya 2022, but nenyaya yekuti kwakaita funeral vakatumawo representatives avo. Naizvozvo Comrade Mnangagwa ndivo vasovhura trade fair yedu because of those circumstances dzaitika. Trade fair yedu yanga yane nguva chaizvo isati yaitwa nenyaya yeCovid-19. I think almost 3 years tisina kuita trade fair ku Bulawayo. So this year 2022 all roads are leader ku Bulawayo. Vanhu very excited, the international community, SADC, Zimbabweans from all walks of life vauya ku Bulawayo, vamwe vachiri kuuya. Vana vari kuendavo, vabereki vari kuenda nevana ku Luna Park vachinofara, vana vachifara kuma rides. Zvinova zvavandusa economy yemuBulawayo. Tinoziva kuti pese panoitika trade fair, mahotels iri kuBulawayo, business iri kuBulawayo, the business people, city council, everyone in Bulawayo is excited because pachasiwa a better of an economy based on vanhu vanenge vachiuya kuBulawayo. President vedu Mnangagwa vakati ivo Zimbabwe is open for business. Nenyaya ye-engagement tiri kuona isu kuti iyi yata opportunity yokuti business economy romuZimbabwe rikwanise kuvandurika zvichiburitswa netrade fair. Trade fair yedu haisi political, is just a best business platform. Panouya vanhu vese vanouya vachita showcase businesses avo, new businesses, and those that are there vachitaridza kuti izvi ndo zvatinoita kubusiness kwedu, vachiattracta macustomers avo, zvinovandudza upenyu hwevanhu veZimbabwe. Saka ndinotenda nomufaro mukuru vanhu kuBulawayo kuti mavingwa nebusiness muZimbabwe chitorai mukana uyu, nekuda kwezvakaitika paCovid-19 kuti tinoziva mabusiness mazhinji akaenda under, but totenda kuti Bulawayo yarangarigwa zvinhu zviviri. Yarangarigwa paindependence yedu, which is the first ever heyo trade fair yavo yafuti kuBulawayo. Saka atotenda mukuru wenyika wakati igusa ruzhinji hakuna discrimination kuZimbabwe. Tinozviona isusu kuti kana mukuru achiunza zvinhu zvakadai muguta reBulawayo, aiwa kuvandura upenyu hweZimbabwe. Saka tinozvitenda zvikuru kwazvo. Ndatenda.
Thank you very much. Now let's welcome our second guest, and that is Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube of Freedom Alliance, is based in Johannesburg. Mr. Ncube, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dube. How are you?
Oh, very well. So tell us a bit about what you know about the ZITF. Yes.
What I know about the ZITF is that it used to be a real trade fair some years back when the country got independence. But now I was shocked to see that now it's ZANU PF showcasing itself there, selling cards and all those things, having people join. So it's no longer a trade thing, but it's now a campaign platform where ZANU PF as a political party is manifesting itself there. So it has lost its value as it were.
Yeah, I was telling a scene to one trade fair.
Yeah, i-trade fair namhlanje sokuyinhlekisa. Besiyazi kudala kuyindawo yokuthi ke kwenziwa ke economy ezokuthengiselana, kodwa kade sesibona iZANU isiyiyo major exhibitor kwaphane yiyo esingumkambo omkhulu okuthengiswa khona amakhada weZANU kujoyiniswa abantu ilokuzeni ibandla eleZANU. Sokungumdlalo ngendlela esikubona ngayo into le kuthiwa yi-trade fair.
Yes, let's turn to what is happening in South Africa. We know that there are some issues concerning Operation Dudula. Today we saw in Soweto some vendors originating from Zimbabwe being told to leave the marketplace. What's going on really concerning this Operation Dudula? At the same time, with Malema saying, you Zimbabweans go back home during election time and vote out the government, and then we'll be helping you in one way or the other, or you'll be helping each other if ever that's the case. So give us your take on that.
Yes, the issue of Dudula, it's just the name that has changed. This thing started way back, as far as I remember, 2008, when there was a Mozambican who was burnt alive, just like what happened to Elvis Nyat. So it's an old thing, but now what has been happening is that now the government is also playing a role in terms of what one would call institutionalized xenophobia, where you have programs and policies of exclusion that will exclude foreigners. There is a lot that is happening outside the physical aspect of it as we see it happening today. But now there seems to be a contestation to say who solved the problem of foreigners. Hence, you will see these organizations, some are political parties, put South Africa first. Those organizations, you are aware of Herman Mashaba and others. So now there is that contestation. Everyone wants to be in the forefront, to be seen as a hero. So what was seen today, there has been some talk of, I think it's a bylaw, because I don't think it's national, where they are saying there is now some law to say foreigners should not trade in South Africa. They should not do this informal trading and stuff. So it's something that is continuing, that is meant to actually ensure that people are strangled to the point where they cannot make any money, which means they will not be able to pay rent. They cannot take care of, for their families back home. They will not be able to pay rent. Then they go onto the street. The next thing will be for them to go back to Zimbabwe. So that's the idea on the Dudula side of it. Then on Malema, remember that this is also a political thing. Malema never talked about Zimbabweans to go and vote during Mugabe's time. He is a fan. He was a fan of Mugabe. But now we hear him indirectly, although he is sugarcoating it. He is actually telling people that he cannot run away from the Dudula concept, because now that is the way to get votes, as it were. But I would also take a leaf. I think we can take a leaf from that, because it is true that we should vote. We should go to our country, decide our governance there. Unlike what we are doing to stay here, we forget. You will hear some people telling you that, no, I have never voted in my life, and they will be gloating about it. So I think the message coming from Malema, the message coming from Dudula, the illicit message coming from the government of South Africa is that we are now fed up of you Zimbabweans. Go back home. We have seen the government making people that are legal in the country to be illegal. That should tell us a lot. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's bring in Mr. Tawanda Dzokora of the Citizens Coalition for Change. He's based in USA, and today he doesn't have his yellow kind of t-shirt. And welcome to the program, Mr. Dzokora.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Makadi Muria Zimbabwe, Akaterera, Makadi Tete Marvelous.
Very fine. Marvelous, go for it.
Dzokora, tiri kuona pari zvino pane zviri kutaurwa nava Julius Malema ve-EFF vachitiwo vanhu ngavadzokere kumusha vanovhota, uyezve vawanikwe vachivhotera kuti vaMnangagwa vabve pachigaro. Imi sebato reCCC munotora sei izvi?
Ichocho ndochokwadi. VaMnangagwa vanofanira kuvhoterwa kuti vabve nekuti vakonewa. Kukonewa zviya zvemhando yepamusoro-soro. Vana vese vaZimbabwe kutambura kwavari kuita, kutambura kwatiri kuita tiri kumarimuka, tiri kunze kwenyika, iyi mhosva yenyika kana kuti yevatungamiriri vasiri kugona kutungamira nyika. Vanhu vari kupondwa kuSouth Africa, Elvis Nyat, makaona zvakaitika. Inyaya yese yekuti tikaitarisa inodzokera kukuondongwa kwenyika kwaitika muZimbabwe. Saka vaMalema vari kutaura chokwadi. Hongu vanhu vakazara kunana South Africa, kunana America, asi ichokwadiwo zvakare kuti sevana veZimbabwe tinofanirwa kudzokera tononyoresa kuvhota, tozodzokera zvakare tichinovhota. Freedom is not cheap. Saka tinofanira kutodaro. Asi ndoda kuti Pokani na mukoma wangu ataura kuti vamalema vari kuita vachifuridzira nyaya yezviri kuitika kuSouth Africa. Vamalema vakanyatsomira pachena. Vari kutaura ivo kuti avakurudzire zvekuti vanhu vapondwe, zvekuti vanhu vaurayiwe, zvekuti vanhu vadzingwe muSouth Africa, nekuti South Africa ndeye vanhu vatema. Vanhu vatema vacho ndevapi? NdevekuZimbabwe, ndevekuMozambique, ndevekuNigeria. Vamalema vakanyatsomira, vari kumira nevana vese veAfrica kuti vane kodzero yekunge vari muSouth Africa. Asi vari kuzotaura kuti vari muZimbabwe muri pedyo, vari muSouth Africa muri pedyo nekuZimbabwe. Dzokerai munonyoresa kuvhota, mozoenda kunovhota zvakare kuitira kuti mubvise munhu ari kutambudza vanhu, aita kuti vanhu vese vanga vakuda kunozara muSouth Africa. Ndiri kuona kuti vamalema vari kunyatsogadzirisa nyaya zvakanakisa, kwete zvatinongona zvichiitwa nevamwe vatungamiri vanokurudzira kana vanosapota zvinhu zvakashata vachingoti nekuti mumwe wavo. Vamalema vari kunyatsobuda pachena.
Yes, now looking at the situation right now in South Africa, you see some people are being pushed out of the streets, Mr. Dzokora, by Operation Dudula. What should happen? You know, because here we're talking of human beings that are actually supporting their families back home, and these people pay rent. So if they don't pay rent anymore, how are they going to live in South Africa? They have to go back to Zimbabwe. What's happening here? Dzokora. Yes,
according to the law of the United Nations Refugees Act, the South African government cannot remove Zimbabweans or persecuted people who are running away from a regime that is causing the persecution. They have no right to take them back, especially those that they have given asylum. Those ones should remain in South Africa. And the South African government knows exactly what is going on in Zimbabwe. So they should be seen to be sympathetic to the situation. They understand what is going on. And to a certain extent, they've chosen to support a government that is, breaking people's human rights, instead of standing with the people of Zimbabwe, like what Mr. Malema is doing. So I remain on the side of what Mr. Malema is saying right now, that Zimbabweans should not be forced to leave South Africa, but they must go back and register to vote and come back to South Africa, and then go back again to Zimbabwe to vote when it is time for them to vote. But otherwise, the South African government should not be removing Zimbabweans forcibly from South Africa. They should actually be trying to rectify the situation for the long term, which means they should be standing with the Zimbabwean people, and they should be calling out their friend Emmerson Mnangagwa, so that he stops the persecution, and he also does the right thing by the people of Zimbabwe, making sure that they enact electoral reforms, and we have free, fair, and credible elections in Zimbabwe. They should also be talking to Emmerson Mnangagwa so that they stop the rampant looting that we see every day. Zimbabwe's problems are benchmarked on the issue of corruption. We have so much corruption going on with billions of dollars that are just disappearing. That money could be used to resuscitate industries, start new industries, and give jobs to the people of Zimbabwe. But we are not able to do that because of the massive corruption that we see every day. And the South African government should actually be taking a leading role in making sure that that road stops, and they support whatever the international community is doing right now, so that the corruption stops.
Thank you very much. Let's bring in Mr. Charumbira. Mr. Charumbira, go ahead. I think you've heard what Mr. Dzokora and Mr. Ncube have said.
Thank you very much. I think it's all about politics. We know the political situation in South Africa, whereby the government itself of South Africa is not able to contain xenophobia for a very long time. And of course, we know that this xenophobia has been affecting mostly our people, Zimbabweans. And there's one reason why xenophobia is affecting our people. It is because our people, we talk to them, those that are on the ground. Zimbabweans who go to South Africa, they take the job seriously. When they get a job, they work and they get promoted, and quickly they start being supervisors and managers. And South Africans in particular don't like that, because mostly Zimbabweans they can take the job seriously, and they know what to do when they are given a job. And we know the employers in South Africa, mostly the white people, they prefer Zimbabweans to work with them than the South African themselves. And that one is a fact. And that's the reason why we see that our people are particularly sanctioned by the South African citizens. But however, Comrade Malema's remarks, they are not anything that we take very seriously, because tomorrow you will see him saying something again. You know, if you recall whatever he says, tomorrow he will come back and say something again. He did not say that he is against the ruling party, ZANU PF. He says clearly, and he has been saying this even before, that people should be removed from presidents by ballot. He actually informed Chamisa when he lost in the last election that you cannot continue crying and putting Zimbabwe under the bus. You have to wait for the next election and go and mourn your wounds, and then later on you can come in and again and contest again. And that's exactly what he's still saying in another way. So I don't see anything that the opposition is excited about. The only thing that I know is that the government is doing the best they can to resuscitate the economy. Things are moving very well. But the last speaker who just spoke should know that the pain that is being afflicted to Zimbabweans, it is all because of sanctions, which were borrowed from America by his bootlickers, Chamisa, BT, and so forth. They went to America to beg for sanctions. They are the ones who keep on doing everything possible to make sure that these sanctions must be renewed over and over. But you can call for sanctions and know that this is the reason why our people are suffering in South Africa. They are suffering because of the sanctions that we have called. So we are not going to regret that. We will continue to receive our people back from South Africa. We're going to engage and have our bilateral meetings and engagements with the South African government to at least make sure that our people are safe in South Africa. And we'll wait for an election next year where we are going to win that election again, because we are not a lip service government, but we are an action-oriented government. We work with achievements. We work with what we have done. We are not going to even be afraid to go on an election with a party that doesn't have a structure, a party that doesn't want to go for an elected Congress. So you see, you can see that there is disorder in the MDC, and we are going to win this next election, and we'll continue to build our economy, and our people will be safe again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe Marvelous.
Vachirumbira pamazwi yakataurwa navamalema vakanyatsototaura kuti endai munovhota mubvise vaMnangagwa pane mazwi avapedzisira kutaura. Saka imi munoti ZANU PF.
Ndatenda. VaMalema mashoko avakataura seZANU PF tinomagamuchira. Havana kuti endai munoita regime change. Havana kupromota regime change. VaMalema vakati endai munovhota mugobvisa kavaMnangagwa wacho, nokuti muri kucomplaina kuti ndo vari kuitisa kuti economy yekuZimbabwe isafe. Saka the only way yamunganovabvisa endai munovhota kuma-election. Saka isakamirirawo kuma-election ikoko kuti one kuti vaMnangagwa vangabviswa here. Saka isu seZANU PF ticharamba tichivhotera vaMnangagwa, ticharamba tichimeka sure kuti vaMnangagwa vadzoseka pachinzvimbo, nokuti basa ravaita muZimbabwe rakawandisa. Tiri kuona ma-achievements avaita. Hakuna kana president wataita zvakaitwa navaMnangagwa. Munhu anogona kushanda navamwe, kushanda nedzimwe nyika. Mukatarisa kutrade fair right now, zviri kuitika kutrade fair as we speak, maorganizations akawanda, non-profit, civil society, vari kuuya vachiita showcase themselves because Zimbabwe is open for business and it's a favorable environment economy for all. We see vanhu vakawanda vari kubva kuna China kwese ku United States kuna ku UK everywhere ku Europe vachiuya kuzoinvesta muZimbabwe because Zimbabwe is a safe place to invest. Saka yes, we are going to build ma jobs edu. Of course, South Africa, vana Malema, ma politicians, vanoteerera zviri kutaurwa nevanhu paground. Ma South Africans themselves, citizens, vari kukundirwa zvandataura kuti vari kukundirwa pamabasa nemaZimbabweans. Pasvika muZimbabwe pese kana kwese all over the world, maZimbabweans they just go and take over because vanhu vanoziva, they are intellectuals, they know how to take over a situation pavanenge vasvika. Saka isu tichabuild economy yedu through President vedu Comrade Mnangagwa. Ticharamba tichitonga Zimbabwe nokuti tisinogona kuitonga tisakaitora kubva kuvapambe pfumi. Saka tinoziva zvinodiwa muZimbabwe, kwete ava vanotukirira, ava vasingakwanisi kana kuenda kuCongress, ava vasina kana structure veCCC vanongotomuka pasina zviripo. Basa ndoro kungotaka nokutuka. Isa hatiti politics dzokutuka, tenda politics dzeaction. Tinosvika panzvimbo tobuild up zvikoro, tobuild up clinics, tobuild up roads. Ndio zviri kuitwa naPresident Mnangagwa. Ndatenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ncube. The floor is yours. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, our major problem is that now we are talking about Chinzwimbo for Vana Mnangagwa by the previous speaker. That is where we have got a serious problem because it is about individuals that we are working through. When we look at this problem of migration, we should not be talking about giving people power, people that have failed having that power. I would like also to say my esteemed guest, also fellow guest, should stop glorifying foreigners that are all over the world and in South Africa. That is very wrong. The mentality that he is bringing here, representing ZANU PF, we know that ZANU PF is a failed party, and the mentality that he is having is the mentality of failure. To say that foreigners are the best, they are having skills, that is not true. There is a reason why employers would prefer to exploit foreigners, and we cannot glorify foreigners about that. We need to look at the root cause of what is happening in this country, and this is not a ZANU PF rally. We need to be frank in this discussion. This is not a ZANU PF rally. We are having a serious problem. We should stop lying. Malema has said that ZANU should be removed and Mnangagwa should be removed. That's the fact that he said. But for us, we are saying it's not about removing ZANU and Mnangagwa. It's about removing the problems that are in the country: mismanagement, misgovernance, tribalism, all those things that need to be removed. Because even if he can be removed today, the same thing is going to happen. We saw the removal of Mugabe also doing that. Right. Coming to the issue of Malema, Dzokora is saying that Malema is saying the right things. You know, if you go and stay with your aunt, the moment your aunt is not going to tell you that go back, I don't want you here. Your aunt will say they are calling you, your mother is calling you, she wants you to come back home because she wants to save a meal. We need to be mindful that the problem of migration in Zimbabwe is a big problem for everyone, even for Malema. But he wants to use that diplomacy because he doesn't want people to be killed like what other people are doing. But that does not tell us that he is saying we should stay in South Africa. There is no good reason for us to stay in South Africa. We need to stand up against ZANU PF and say, this is wrong what you are doing. We vote the mismanagement out of power. Then we ensure that we have got policies for development that are viable. Not this thing where we are always on campaign mode talking about Mnangagwa when he is failing the country like this. Thank you.
Yes,
esikutshoyo yikuthi into esihluphayo yonke into uzwa sokukhunywa ngomNangagwa. Sile problem la kodwa umuntu usezocampaign asezocampanela izanu ubaba lo uvusango ubhizi uzokhampenela izanu kuyikuthi inhlupho zezanu yizo ezenza ukuthi abantu ngabazogcwala kumazwe lawa abantu abakuwo. Njalo sicela ukukhuza abantu bezanu laba babuya bezokuthi bona abantu beZimbabwe basebenza kuhle emazweni yibo abangcono abakhutheleyo. Nxa sikhuthele indaba singakhuthalanga kithi kuyini okusisusile ngokukhuthala yikukhuluma kubi lokhu umuntu engumuntu omdala. We need to acknowledge ukuthi asisafunakala. Nxa uhlezi kumbe ukoyihlokazi uyihlokazi ngakini kuseduzane lapha usefuna ukuphakela abantu bakhe uza kutshela athi wena uyabizwa ngakini sebekubiza ungazange ubizwe funa ukusale baphakela sikubonile thina singabantwana lokho. So uMalema nxa ekhuluma singathatheki sithi uthi kasizohlala eSouth Africa ngala sizathu sokuthi athi ufuna sizohlala eSouth Africa uMalema uyabe sizohlalela but esikutshoyo ake sicabangeni ngokuthi senzani asingabulawa asincediswe ukuthi bantu beZimbabwe lapho singalincedisa khona singalincedisa njani sincediswe lathi sizisukumela hayi ukuthi sihlale njengamadela phansi sibe sifuna ukusola abantu sithi hayi obani bayasithanda akula muntu osithandayo la
siyabuzwa kakhulu ke sicela ubambe khonapho ke siye Mr. Dzokora. So Mr. Dzokora, what could be the solution to all this in terms of what is happening in South Africa? And this operation Dudula is giving people sleepless nights. So what can be done? Because people are really all over the place now.
The solution is very simple. We must remove ZANU PF. We must remove Emmerson Mnangagwa. ZANU PF has failed. If things were okay in our country, we wouldn't be in South Africa, and our people would not be suffering the way they are suffering in South Africa. And it's shocking to hear someone glorifying Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU PF. He himself cannot even live in Zimbabwe. He is living in Canada because he has seen that Zimbabwe is not livable. That's why he left Zimbabwe. And that's why 5 million Zimbabweans are outside Zimbabwe right now because there's nothing going on in Zimbabwe. There is no employment. He can go on Google right now. You will know that Zimbabwe is now one of the worst countries in the world economically. It's the worst. There's no employment creation going on as it is. 90% of Zimbabweans are not employed. And he still comes here and have the guts to glorify someone like that. In our hospitals, as we are speaking, they're empty. People have testified, doctors have testified, patients themselves have testified. People are dying in hospitals because there is nothing going on. You get into Harare, you have to find, you have to be, finding which pothole to fall into, because the whole city, the whole town is just full of potholes. We can't even talk about any development that has taken place in Zimbabwe. The government must be building dams. It has not built any dam. Where the money is available from the minerals, the vast minerals that we have in Zimbabwe, that money is misused. That money ends up in people's pockets. There is rampant corruption. We are losing over $10 billion, every year due to corruption. Imagine what we can do with $10 billion. Imagine how many roads we can build. Imagine how many hospitals we can set up. Imagine how many Zisco steels we can have in Zimbabwe with that $10 billion. So for someone to come here and talk, the way Mr. Vusango is talking, it's very sad. So to the answer to your question is tinofana kubatana semaZimbabweans tibvise chihurumende chavaMnangagwa, hurumende yeZANU PF yadai kutitambudza. Tikawana mutungamiriri anonzwa vanhu, anoteerera vanhu, akaita saPresident Chamisa, vanoti iko zvino izvi triple C yacho haisisiri yavo, yakaiswa mumaoko evanhu. Masimba ose akapiwa vanhu kuti vanhu ndimi munotaura zvinoitika. Kana tichitavapindawo taakutonga, tinenge tichitobvunza imi kuti toenda here kunokwereta mari, tovaka chii panapa, toita chii panapa. Ndo donzo rakauya navachamisa pavari kutaura kuti it's now a citizens movement. Masimba ose aiswa kuvanhu. Every decision that will be taken, that is being taken, is done by the citizens.
Thank you.
Nyika yakarwirwa nana Mnangagwa neZANU PF, saka tisi tinoitonga. Nyika haina kurwirwa neZANU PF, haina kurwirwa naMnangagwa, haina kusunungurwa naMnangagwa, yakasunungurwa nevanhu. Uzvizive izvozvo Vusango. Nyika yakasunungurwa nevanhu. Vene veZimbabwe vanhu, vene veZimbabwe haasi Mnangagwa neZANU PF.
Yes, Mr. Vusango, your reaction to that, because
I think this is the rhetoric of the opposition. It's always the same way. I wish I could say it in the way that the same bed will make the same noise, and that's how it is.
But is it not true? Is it not true that ZANU PF has got a hand in all this?
This bit rhetoric couldn't feed Zimbabweans, couldn't get jobs for Zimbabweans, couldn't do any development in Zimbabwe. It's just bad mouthing, and they are good at it. Blaming and blaming. They will never say anything, even if anything is done. Themselves, as a political party opposition, what is stopping them from fixing the garbage that is lingering around in Harare, or the cities that they are actually running? They keep blaming the central government, but they have been purchasing millions and millions of vehicles from China with the money that they're getting from central government. Why not plowing that money into the economy of the cities? So you are just a hypocrite, to be honest with you. You don't even understand. It's like maybe you are being paid by Njambisa to come here and speak lies. We know, because we have the records. We are the government. We know we have the records that you are getting a lot of money. Where are you putting the money? You are doing corruption. You are talking about corruption.
Regai timbodzokera panyaya yedu yatiri kutaura yeku-South Africa. Nekuti imini navadzokora munogona kuzotaura zvenyu after the show. But ngatidzokerei panyaya yedu yatiri kutarisa yeku-South Africa. Saka zvii zvamuri kuti imi sehurumende muchange muri kuita kubatsira zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe izvi?
Zimbabwe kune Minister of Home Affairs is ready to receive all Zimbabweans back home, to assist them, even by transport and anything that is needed. The embassy is ready. Anyone anenge ari ku South Africa anenge aita issue achida kudzokera kumusha because vari kusuffer xenophobia or anything, vari free ku contact embassy assistwe kudzokera kuZimbabwe. Vasvikawo kuZimbabwe kwachina ikoko government iri kutoplana, because tiri kuona kuti zvikaramba zvidai pachaita a massive migration back kuZimbabwe. Government iri kutry by all means to come up with a strategy dzokuti vakwanise kubatsira vana veZimbabwe vanenge vari kuSouth Africa, because remember kuti economy yeZimbabwe for the past years yanga ichivakwa nemadiaspora remittances, and the government has appreciated that, the Minister of Finance has appreciated that our economy yakagorowa nenyaya yekuti vanhu vari kudiaspora, including South Africa is part of the diaspora. They've been doing a lot of development and sending money back to Zimbabwe. Zvanga zvibatsira futi economy yeZimbabwe kuti ibhume. Saka vari kuisa ma-strategies. So far the situation has not turned to where we can say what exactly is on the ground or in the plans, but in the pipeline. But sokutaurwa kwazvo kwandiri kubvunza nichinzwa, tiri kuvabvunza kuti saka what are we doing as a government, chii chiri kuitwa kuti nokuti kuSouth Africa in the event yokuti kwaita mass migration back from South Africa to Zimbabwe, zvii zvichaitika. Saka I think my plans, they are underway. There's no way the government can just look at vanhu vari kuSouth Africa vachiuya vamwe vachitambura kuti voya sei kumusha. Saka the government is preparing, and I think as soon as that those preparations are done, they will be published kuti vanhu vazive kuti chii chaitwa. But vana veZimbabwe havafani kutya, nokuti vese vari kuSouth Africa kana kune any other country, they contributed, and the government is going to contribute back to their lives as well.
Thank you very much. On that note, we end our show today. We thank our guest this evening, Mr. Regis Vusango. He belongs to ZANU PF. Mr. Tawanda Dzokora of the Citizens Coalition for Change, led by Nelson Chamisa. Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube of Freedom Alliance, and our correspondent Ezra Sibanda, who sent us some videos. Signing off from Washington, this is Gibbs Dube saying good night, Zimbabwe.
And I'm Marvelous Mhlanganya. We are also thanking those that were watching along with us and those that called into the show. See you next week.
Good night.